Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We've learned a lot about Black Ops 7 over the course of the past few days. We've gotten new information on the campaign, which looks absolutely wild in some very strange ways, doesn't necessarily scream Call of Duty. We've learned a decent bit about multiplayer, which seems to be an interesting mashup of like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 combined into one. We've learned a little bit about zombies. There is, however, one giant question mark, and personally, it's the question mark that I care about the most, and that is Warzone. We've heard essentially next to nothing about Warzone so far. Granted, we weren't expecting to know a ton about it at this point in time. A lot of that information is reserved for Call of Duty Next and that grand reveal there where they actually have multiplayer gameplay, a Warzone showcase, and then Warzone gameplay. But we got a lot more information than we typically do when it comes to the new premium title, a little bit earlier than we typically do this far out ahead of Next. But Warzone doesn't have the same situation. We're left wondering, well, is this going to be in Warzone? Is that going to be in Warzone? In fact, there's only one specific official mention of Warzone and how it ties to Black Ops 7. So this is the grand reveal blog that Call of Duty posted for Black Ops 7, detailing all the stuff that we've got for campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. And we can scroll through here. It talks about the campaign, but nothing on Warzone here. So we got to keep scrolling. We got all the characters, this, that, and everything else. We've got like the Avalon open world, the end game, which I know a lot of people saw this, jumped to the conclusion, oh, this is Blackout, it's back, the wingsuits, the big open map. I would not jump to that conclusion. Blackout 2 is likely never going to be a thing. Warzone has that appeal, and unless it just fails tremendously, I highly doubt Blackout would ever end up coming back, especially not with what we know so far. But people saw this, they assumed Blackout, not necessarily the case. This could, I guess, be a feature for Warzone, but we'll talk more on that here in a little bit. But still, campaign stuff here. Then we get into the multiplayer stuff. They detail the weapons, the maps, the streaks, everything like that. Pretty standard for a multiplayer reveal, but we got to keep scrolling here. We get zombies. Again, they detail a lot of stuff here with Round Base, with the Ether, Dead Ops Arcade back, everything like that. The global progression. This would also impact Warzone, and it does to a certain extent, you know, with the camos being available there, obviously the integration stuff. But you go through this, there's no specific details on Warzone gameplay. You actually have to scroll all the way down to the carry forward section, which for multiplayer, bit of an L in my opinion. I'm not a fan of carry forward, as I've expressed a few times now, but they detail some stuff here, how it's going to work for Black Ops 7, where it's just XP tokens and gobblegums at the start, and then season 1, everything's going to carry over. This is where we get the only specific mention of Warzone for all of the Black Ops 7 reveals so far. They talk about carry forward, and then they detail this right here. The Call of Duty Warzone integration will also begin at season 1. So this officially confirms no, Blackout is not coming back this year. The Warzone Black Ops 7 integration will happen with season 1, as it has happened for the past several years. This means the game launching November 14th likely means we'll see season 1 early to mid-December. I highly doubt they're going to push it up against Christmas and the holiday break there, because I feel like we've learned our lesson on that one. You don't drop a major integration and then go on vacation for 2 weeks for the holidays, because then when things inevitably break with the integration, there's no one there to fix those things. And then we get the DMR zone running rampant for 2 weeks, right? Which was just not ideal. So likely going to be, you know, the second, maybe early third week of December for that season 1 launch date. And that's when Warzone will get that major update. All current content, including operators, weapons, and blueprints from Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 6 will carry forward with some caveats and exceptions. Weapons will continue to be tuned for Warzone. I mean, we'll see about that. Warzone players should expect a rank reset at season 1 with your progression synchronized to Black Ops 7's progression system. So here is what we now have officially confirmed for Warzone X Black Ops 7. We're gonna have 4 games worth of content in this. That to me is a bit of a problem. That's a little bit concerning, and I don't buy the fact that weapons will continue to be tuned for Warzone. I do not see Raven going through in a game that's got however many weapons from MW2, 40, 50 MW2 weapons, 40, 50 MW3 weapons, 40, 50 Black Ops 6 weapons, and now at launch, the 30 plus by the time we see season 1, because they'll introduce new guns there, the 30 plus Black Ops 7 weapons. We are going to have a ridiculous amount of weapons in this game. I highly doubt they're going back to the MW2 guns and tuning those. It doesn't happen now. Why would it happen in the next Warzone unless Raven completely like overhauls how they approach weapon balance when there's 200 something options, right? And that also means all your operators and blueprints and everything else from all 4 games are going to be there. So there is going to be an extreme amount of bloat in Black Ops 7 Warzone, and that to me is a little concerning. I just feel like that is opening the door wide open for issues, for problems, for bugs and glitches because of how things interact. I'm not saying you need a full reset because I assume that's going to happen with Modern Warfare 4 and like the next gen stuff anyways. However, it does seem like a lot. We've never had this much content from multiple games in Warzone. So a little concerning there, but we're going to have to see how it plays out. I'm a little bit hesitant on that though, outright. And then they do also confirm, obviously, when season 1 starts, if you are currently in Black Ops 6 Warzone level 450 and you don't buy Black Ops 7, then at season 1 launch, when Warzone integrates, you're going all the way back to level 1. Now, if you buy Black Ops 7 and you are second prestige level 35 when season 1 drops, then in Warzone, you're going to start at second prestige level 35. So that's to be expected. That's a pretty standard soft reset, if you will, for the new Warzone integration. But that is quite literally the only official mentions that we've got for Warzone. And what's even more strange is that while yes, oftentimes we don't have a ton of official mentions leading up to Call of Duty Next, we have an extreme amount of details this year specifically around multiplayer and whatnot, we would also typically have a lot more leaks for what's to come. But even there, things get very strange, especially with some stuff that recently happened at the start of Season 5. So Reality, known leaker and data miner here in the community, posted this a few days back saying references to the new Warzone map have actually been removed with Season 5, but the references for Fortune's Keep remain, which is really strange. We've had references for Fortune's Keep just sitting in the files for like seasons now, like maybe hinting that they might re-debut that, they might bring that back so we actually have something that's not just rebirth spam every single day. I think we could use some map rotation just to spice things up, keep it a little bit less monotonous. So that's maybe its own thing that could happen perhaps before Black Ops 7. We'll see, or it could just be leftover stuff that they for some reason don't remove. It is what it is. What's really bizarre though is the follow-up tweet here. I don't know what the new Warzone map is. I don't know if it's Avalon, but it's not Area 99. The code name for it is Manticore. And Manticore has actually been in the files for several seasons. We've talked about this in the past as like, oh, this is this mysterious new Warzone map coming up. It's not Area 99. There's no references to that. So the only things that were in the files presumably were Verdansk files, Rebirth files, obviously because those are live, Fortune's Keep files for some reason, and then the new map, the unreleased map, Manticore. But that was removed with Season 5. We were all assuming Manticore was probably going to end up being the Black Ops 7 Warzone map. It could be a hint towards Avalon. However, all the other leaks and rumors that we have up until this point, primarily from the Ghost of Hope, state that Avalon is no longer going to be a Warzone map. It's going to be for the campaign, which we have confirmed. It's going to be built out in some multiplayer maps for the skirmish mode. We have that confirmed. It's going to be an endgame as well, which is like open world, the DMZ/MWZ-esque mode there, but not Battle Royale, which I just feel like is a waste of an asset. You're going to have the whole map installed and downloaded anyways. Use it for Warzone. But we don't have that confirmation yet, which is really, really bizarre. And all the leaks and rumors point towards it not being a Warzone map. So this is where the massive question mark comes into play. At this point, usually we'd have at least an indication of what the future for Warzone map rotation would be like. If we're staying on Verdansk, if we're switching to something new. If we're sticking with Verdansk again, then you bring in the question, okay, how much of the movement and advanced tech from Black Ops 7 is going to come into the game? I highly doubt they're going to introduce wall running or anything crazy like what we have in the campaign. Keep in mind, Black Ops 7 multiplayer only has the one little wall jump, which doesn't seem like anything too crazy. I don't know if that would go over well in Warzone. I don't think we need that movement in Warzone. They might tone down like tac sprint and stuff in Warzone to match multiplayer a little bit more, or they might start building out it as its own thing so that it's not necessarily always so heavily reliant on whatever is happening in the premium title. But that also might be, negated by the fact that we have a full-on overhaul and reset for Warzone coming with Modern Warfare 4 potentially. So like this year of Warzone is currently very mysterious and really confusing because we don't have really any indication whatsoever of the direction we're going to be going. Well, not so fast. As I was getting done editing this video, getting it ready to upload, we actually, of course, with my IRL COD timing, got some new rumors about at least some of the direction with the future of Warzone, although I feel like it only adds fuel to the fire that is this mystery. The Ghost of Hope, very credible leaker and data miner, posted the other day saying, there is a new Resurgence map for Warzone currently planned to release with the Black Ops 7 integration with Season 1 in late 2025. However, here's the catch. Some people play tested it a while back in person, and I heard nobody really liked it. So either we're going to get a map that in its early play tests wasn't even, hitting out of the ballpark, people didn't really enjoy, or they go back to the drawing board and they're trying to redo this map so that players do actually enjoy it when they play it early, so that it actually has a better reception when it launches. They can't do another Area 99 where it launches and the map was up for a month and then completely removed from the game because no one was playing it over Rebirth because they didn't like how it flowed. It was basically mini Caldera with the reactor in the center, and if you were up there, you won the match because you could see everybody, and if you weren't, you lost, and it just didn't really play all that well, unfortunately. But hey, of course, as I had just finished this commentary, we ended up getting some additional info, although I'm not sure it clarifies much other than that we could be getting a new Resurgence map, but hopes for it aren't that high based off of early info. Well, we've now got post-edit Zach. I've already re-recorded this bit once to inform you guys about Hope's latest leak, and then 24 hours later, he dropped another new leak. So I've extended this on now too, and I can't say I saw this one coming. This has now been reported on by Ghost of Hope. Charlie Intel's also mentioned this. Reality UK. Hope says, I wish I was making this up, but from what I've been told, the Resurgence map that's planned for Season 1 of Black Ops 7 is an extended Liberty Falls. So it's the entirety of the Liberty Falls play space. Shattered Veil and whatnot. Liberty Falls obviously as a Resurgence map, so just a reused asset here. I don't know how this would play as a Resurgence map. The leak said people weren't really enjoying it, so really bizarre information there. We'll see what comes of it, but we at least have some context, I guess. Really bizarre. I've seen a lot of questions so far, obviously, because we've been covering so much BO7. Hey, what's going on with Warzone? Like, oh no, are they going to do all this advanced stuff in Warzone 2? That's going to ruin it. Like, we don't know. We have one official thing, and that is the carry forward stuff and the crossover stuff and the reset. So I guess two official things, and that's it. And even the leaks and the rumors that we have are very mysterious as well. So I'm really eager to find out what's going to happen with Warzone, but we don't really know when we're going to have that information available to us. Of course, if anything does surface, you guys already know I'm going to be covering it right as it happens. So stay tuned for that alongside everything else going on in COD by hitting that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always seriously appreciated as well. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.